The water hummed with laughter, but it wasn't mine. It was a sound I never invited. I stood frozen at the edge of my backyard, staring at a scene that could have been plucked straight from a fever dream. Wine glasses clinked, swimsuit straps snapped, and there she was, Marissa Tate, the HOA tyrant, sprawled in my brand-new hot tub, as though it was her personal royal bath. A stranger in sagging green trunks was pouring her more wine, and she raised her glass toward me with that shameless smile. "Oh, good, you're back. We were just saying how lucky we are to have a shared gem like this." My fists clenched. I hadn't even soaked in the tub yet. It was my birthday gift to myself, a sanctuary I crafted with care, only to have it desecrated by strangers, spilled cocktails, and Marissa's sandal casually dangling over the jets. That's when I realized she had crossed a line I couldn't ignore, and I had the perfect plan brewing. 3 weeks earlier, I had been living my suburban dream. My name's Jake Miller, software developer, introvert, and the self-proclaimed king of petty revenge. Pinewood Heights was supposed to be my peace, my escape. Quiet streets, tall trees, low crime. It was supposed to be the kind of place where I could finally catch my breath. It wasn't supposed to be a kingdom ruled by Marissa and her HOA dictatorship. I'd spent 2 months designing my dream hot tub. Heated jets, LED lights, Bluetooth speakers. Everything primed for lazy days filled with mellow jazz. I tucked it behind a privacy fence. Paid extra to have it surveyed. It was my personal retreat, untouched by HOA meddling. Or so I thought. Then came Marissa. She showed up for a routine check. Visor on, clipboard in hand, gums snapping like she was already irritated. She peered through my fence, eyeing my setup. "Nice setup," she said, her voice dripping with feigned sweetness. "Technically, outdoor features like this need HOA approval, but I'll let it slide for now." I stood my ground. "Private installations behind my fence are none of your business." She just smirked, scribbled something down, and sauntered off. Red flag number 1. Red flag number 2 came just 2 days later, when she casually mentioned something about community spirit and shared resources. That's when I noticed a fresh footprints in the wet concrete near my hot tub. My security camera caught Lydia and Greg, a couple from down the block, scaling my gate in bathrobes like they were spying on a mission. Furious, I called Marissa. "Oh, yeah, that was me," she said, breezing to conversation as if she had borrowed a cup of sugar. I told them to test it. Sharing is community spirit, right? I snapped. "That's trespassing." She just laughed. "Relax, it's just water." But it wasn't just water. It was my haven, my escape from the noise, the deadlines, and especially from her. I upgraded the lock, beefed up the security, and slapped a private property, no trespassing sign on the gate. I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong. Fast forward to the invasion. I'd been away for a quiet weekend. No notice, no announcement. But Marissa, ever the hawk, noticed my car was gone. So she swooped in. When I returned, I found my backyard transformed into a full-on party. Balloons, a speaker blaring pop hits, a snack table, and fairy lights strung up like it was some DIY gala. Marissa waved at me like she'd done me a favor. "Hope you don't mind, Jake," she called over the blaring music. The board agreed this should be communal. We brought cups. I didn't say a word. I just walked inside, shut the door, my hands trembling, but not from rage, from glee. I'd always had a mischievous streak, and my college buddy Nate, now working in a lab, had just the thing I needed. I dialed Nate, grinning as I spoke. "Hey, Nate, how fast can you ship me something fun? Maybe a little orange." He knew exactly what I meant. 2 days later, a box arrived. It wasn't just revenge, it was justice. Justice for every HOA email, every flyer, every forced community bonding event Marissa had made me endure. Inside the box was a vial labeled for testing. It was odorless, colorless in cool water, but when heated past 98 degrees Fahrenheit, it bloomed into a vivid, stubborn orange. I tested in a bucket. Clear water turned into volcanic orange. Just like that. I slipped it into the additive pot of my hot tub, designed for mint-scented oils. Perfect. I set my plan in motion. I parked my car 2 streets over, posted a vague beach picture online, and left a vacation lotion box on my porch. Marissa, ever the snoop, couldn't resist the bait. Saturday afternoon, I watched from my upstairs window, cameras rolling. At 3:47 p.m., the gate creaked open. Marissa strutted in, speaker in tow, followed by Lydia, Greg, and 4 others, a group of unwelcome revelers. Marissa snapped at Greg to start the jets, then slid in, moaning with satisfaction like she was auditioning for a spa commercial. The others piled in after her. For 5 minutes, there was nothing but laughter and splashing. Then a hit. Todd, a regular guest, glanced at his arm with confusion. "Is this normal?" he asked, frowning. His skin was glowing, orange, pumpkin orange. Lydia screamed as her legs turned the same shade. "Why am I orange?" Marissa bolted upright, her chest and arms a hideous citrus nightmare. "What is this?" Chaos erupted. Guests scrambled, slipping and tripping, yelling about toxins, lawsuits, and everything in between. Marissa, drenched in orange, pointed a trembling finger at the tub. "Sabotage! That tech nerd did this." I muted the feed, grinning from ear to ear. They flailed like neon flamingos, clutching stained towels, phones out, recording everything. Pure pandemonium. I saved the footage. The neighborhood chat exploded with memes of Marissa as a traffic cone, poems about the orange overlord. By Sunday, it was all over the next subdivision. 2. Texts poured in, some offering dinner for the story, others offering sympathy for her, but the tale was now legend. Marissa, ever the warrior, fought back. Monday came, and she filed an HOA complaint for chemical assault, demanding a meeting. I wasn't fazed. I had proof. At the meeting, she showed up faintly orange, despite scrubbing herself raw. Dressed in a sweater to hide the remnants of her spa nightmare, she ranted, calling me a menace. And that was only the beginning. I handed over the survey permits and the unedited video, the entire board watching in silence. Marissa's trespass, the uninvited party, and the infamous orange meltdown. They saw it all. Even a usually quiet board member spoke up. "Wait, you broken?" he asked, stumbling over his words. "Community trust?" But no one bought it. Her complaint crumbled, shattered under the weight of the evidence. The next day, Marissa, undeterred, took to Facebook with melodramatic screed, accusing me of poisoning the morale in Pinewood. Her post was riddled with rage and hyperbole, but the comments? They shredded her credibility. Marge, an older resident who had long tired of Marissa's antics, quipped, "So, we raid fridges next? Dibs on yours, Marissa." It was the beginning of the end for her. But Marissa didn't stop there. She filed a health department claim, calling my hot tub a biohazard. A health inspector named Paul arrived on Wednesday, his expression a mix of confusion and curiosity. I showed him the tub, explained the safe dye I'd used, and handed him Nate's safety documents. He laughed, clearly amused by the absurdity of the whole thing. "I heard about an HOA food violation here months ago," he said with a smirk. "Something about Marissa's shrimp obsession?" I nodded, playing along. He filed it under neighbor silliness and left, the complaint already forgotten. But then an anonymous tip came in, this one aimed squarely at Marissa. The tip led me to check the HOA funds. What I found wasn't pretty. Padded expenses, fake vendors. Marissa had been siphoning cash from the HOA's budget for years. I taped all the evidence to the clubhouse bulletin board. The whispers started. Demands for an audit followed. Marissa's grip on Pinewood Heights was slipping. And then she sued me for emotional distress. She claimed that my orange prank had ruined her life. I couldn't help but laugh. "Discovery's going to be a blast," my lawyer, Ryan, said when I called him. "We've got this." But Marissa wasn't done yet. She tried to rally support with a unity picnic, thinking a community event could turn the tide in her favor. There was food, a bounce house, and even a raffle. It was supposed to be a feel-good event. But my friend Tina, a county inspector, showed up unannounced. No permits, unsafe setup. The picnic was a disaster. Guests bailed. It was the nail in the coffin. An audit was launched, and what it uncovered was damning. Thousands of dollars gone, all siphoned away by Marissa. The news picked up the story. Pinewood's HOA hustle, they called it. Marissa's reign of terror was exposed for all to see. At court, Marissa's sob story floundered against the evidence I had. The video footage, the documents, Tina's affidavit. The judge ruled in my favor, awarding me damages. Marissa, defeated, slunk out courtroom, her face flushed with humiliation. Her house went dark. Within weeks, it was sold. The HOA, now led by Victor, a no-nonsense veteran, vowed to never again let things get out of hand. The overreach ended. My hot tub was left untouched, and, more importantly, orange-free. At a neighborhood barbecue, someone asked, "Did she ever turn fully orange?" I raised my glass, a grin spreading across my face. "Just waist up," I said, enjoying the moment. Peace had returned. And this time it was mine untainted.